Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me as always. And it's a snowy morning here this morning. How's the weather in your part of the world? Better than this, I hope. Unless you like snow. It's okay once in a while. Today's topic is going to be women's entitlement, at least here in the U.S. Only because I read this article that Rich Cooper posted on Twitter. Twitter? Is that it? I'm not much for social media. But anyway, I found it somewhat amusing, and it reminded me of one of my ex-wives, what she had said to me. She told me that I had stolen her youth. That was after we had 6 kids, and she decided she wanted to go out and ride the CC, which is be with a lot of men, okay? She missed out on that when she was younger, I suppose. I'm not sure why women think they have to do that nowadays. When I was younger, that wasn't the thing. Now, the men have always done it. Now, I'm not saying it's fair, but a man goes out and sleeps with a lot of women, and he's considered a stud. Actually, people look up to him. But if a woman does it, she's considered cheap or a tramp, to put it mildly. Now, I know that's not fair, but that's just the way it is. If you don't like it, go talk to the big guy. But we will read this article and you will see why I decided to choose it today. It's an interesting topic. Okay, it's very small. I have to put my glasses on to read it. Okay, Gold Coast community. I think this guy is from Australia, or this woman is from Australia. I'm contemplating suing my first ex-husband, and half of my friends are saying it's stupid, and the other half are saying go for it. I had 4 children to my ex, and they have wrecked my body. That causes me trouble in capturing the heart of the sort of men I wish to start a relationship with. My second marriage was also halted due to the same reasons, but since we had no children together, our divorce settlement was not what I expected to receive after my first marriage failed. Should I or shouldn't I? He has wrecked my life by taking away my beauty. Now, isn't that interesting? Is she not accountable for her decisions? How did he wreck her life? I believe she made a choice in that. And as far as her beauty goes, she may have had external beauty, but what she is showing here is she has no internal beauty, which is really the only thing that lasts after a woman's beauty fades. Okay? You have to have compassion for women, because if they don't have anything under the hood, as we say here in the States, if they don't have anything inside, when their beauty fades, and it always does, because all beauty is passing, it all fades. If you're a man, you're very fortunate because it's not quite as important and it fades more slowly than it does for a woman. A woman reaches her peak sexual market value between around 22 and 25 years old. Okay, after that it starts declining. Now, if she parties a lot, it will start declining much quicker and much more rapidly. So when they get to be about 28 or 29 or 30, they start realizing that their power has diminished greatly. Okay, unless they're a good person, unless they're a caretaker, they can take care of their husband in a way besides only with their beauty, because I don't care how beautiful a girl is. I've been with some beautiful girls. And if she doesn't have a good personality, or she can't take care of you in a way a man desires to be taken care of from a woman in a relationship, you'll get tired of her pretty quick. I'll guarantee you. You may think not, especially some of you younger men who haven't had a lot of women. Look at these beautiful women. You think, oh, if I was with her, I would be happy. I would be content. Excuse me, not the case. But this woman here wants to blame someone else for her choices. Now, there you go. There's a good example of divorce court. Now, I think that's in Australia. Here in the U.S., it's very similar. The women say they want equal rights, they want to be equal, until it comes to divorce court. Then they're a victim. Then they need the man to support them and the kids. And it's not that they just want him to help support the kids. They want to be supported by the man also. So that doesn't quite seem like equality to me. They're strong, they're independent until they get to divorce court, and then they can't make it without the man's financial help. Well, that's the way it is, right? Okay, I've raised my 6 kids by myself for the last 9 years. Really, probably for 11 years because she was in and out the last couple years. But I get no child support. I don't get welfare from the government, okay? I do it myself, all right? I didn't ask any woman to help me. I don't want her money. I don't need her money. And I'm not getting her money. Even if I did want it, I wouldn't get it, okay? Because she doesn't have it to give me, all right? So what's the difference? If she wants the kids, then she needs to support them. If I want the kids, I'll take care of them. If she wants to contribute, that's fine. In this case, I'm glad she doesn't contribute. I'm glad she's gone. She has no involvement with the kids, and that suits me just fine. Now, that's not to say that they wouldn't benefit from the nurturing care of a mother, because women can do that much better than men can. I realize that. But in this case, it's better she's gone because she doesn't want to stay consistently. All right, she wants to come and go in and out of their lives, and it really disrupts their stability. Okay, but this woman here is looking for some man to support her still, although she'll probably claim she's equal and just as strong and independent as any man, but yet she's wanting to blame, play the victim, and get whatever financial support she can get from a man through the courts or however she has to get it. That's like hypergamy in action. But she's run out of her beauty, her power's gone, and in this lady's case, her personality doesn't seem very nice either. So yes, her chances of finding a good man are slim to none. And this is what women don't realize. And that's why I teach my daughter. She's 14 years old. I said, I'm telling you what, you don't post things on Instagram like a thought, shaking your butt and all that. You just don't do it. And you don't go out sleeping with every guy, okay? Because here's what happens. Yeah, you'll have all the guys for a while, but then you become a thought, and then no man wants you. You can't get a high value man. You've got to value yourself, take care of yourself, and then you will be able to get a man that is high value that can take care of you. I encourage my daughter to marry. I discourage my sons to marry, at least here in the United States. What is the advantage for you as a man to marry in the U.S.? Now, I believed in marriage. I was married 4 times, and I still believe in the institution of marriage. It's just that the government has such a control over marriage and the workings of marriage in the U.S. that it's very impractical, to say the least. To marry here in the U.S., there's no benefits whatsoever. And there's a big risk, a high risk. She can leave anytime she wants to, take whatever you have, and if you have kids together, you will be paying for those kids for the next 22 years until they get out of college if they decide to go. You are responsible for them financially and as their father, but you have very, very little say in how they are raised. If she has primary custody, which is usually the way it goes, she will have those kids and she will do what she wants to with them regardless of what you say. Sure, you can go to court and fight, but it will cost you many, many, many dollars. Much of your time and your energy, and you will gain very little. They always side with the woman. Even if she's a drug addict and she gives the kids up to you, she can go get cleaned up and come back anytime and say she's got her life together and she wants her kids back, and you will have to spend money and fight to keep them. And there's a very good chance they will give those kids back to the mother unless they have been with you for many years, 5, 10 years. So these are things, and the child support you pay will be much more than it really costs to support those kids. Because I have 6 of them, and I'll guarantee you it's much cheaper for me to raise them than it would be if I were paying an ex-wife to take care of them or through child support. And I have done both. I've had a child and paid child support on it. Not these children, not this litter. I have 8 kids altogether. These 6 are from one woman. I was very fortunate. I didn't have to pay child support very long through circumstances which I won't even go into. It's a long story. Read the book, Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels, if you want to find out about that. I was very fortunate. So otherwise would I still be paying child? No, I would not be paying now, but I would have paid for a long time. Thousands of dollars you could invest in something else. So this is kind of how basically most women are. They feel entitled to whatever you have as the man. And if you're married to them and you go out and work every day and you provide and protect, don't expect her to appreciate that. Some will. If you find a good one, she will appreciate that and she will respect and honor you for that. Most of them just figure, hey, that's your job, you're a man. They feel entitled to it. And once again, that's more of a thing here in the U.S. They feel entitled to a washer, a dryer, a nice stove, a refrigerator. And a woman listening to this might think, what do you mean? Of course. Well, let me tell you what. In many countries, and I've lived in other countries in the world, they don't have a refrigerator. They don't have a washer. They don't have a dryer. They wash clothes on a pila or a rock in the lake. They don't have a refrigerator. Huh? I've lived without all that stuff. Oh, and guess what? You make it just fine. Okay? So these things are gifts. These are luxuries. But these women have been raised up with that, just like I was. I was raised with a washer, dryer, and all that. And I never appreciated it until I lived in a foreign country where I didn't have it. Okay? So us men are not much different in that respect. We take things for granted because we were raised up with them. We feel entitled. We feel like we have a right to that. We don't have a right to it. We are fortunate we live in a first world country where we have so many luxurious things. We have cars, we complain about a flat tire. Okay, I'm getting off subject. But anyway, as far as this woman goes, she's a fine example of why you don't want to get married. Like I said, I believe in the institution of marriage. If you live in a country where the woman doesn't have the right to just go to the judge one day and say, hey, he's verbally abusive to me, they kick you out of the house, give you an ex parte, she takes the kids, she's in the house, she could move her boyfriend in there that night and you couldn't do anything about it. So you have to go to court and somehow prove something that's not true in the first place. And the judge will always, 99% of the time, side with the woman, because if he doesn't, and you hurt her or something happens to her, his name will be all over CNN worldwide where he didn't protect you. But if he kicks 1,000 men out of the house, that will never make the news because that is accepted, regardless of what the reasons were. That never makes the news, okay? So you got to remember that. Women have too much power in the United States. She can call the police. Let's say you come home and you're in a bad mood and she's nagging the hell out of you. You tell her to shut the F up. Okay, she can call the police and say that she's afraid of you. You threatened her. How are you going to prove you didn't? They will kick your butt out of the house. She'll file an ex parte, and once again, you got to prove you didn't do that. That's the kind of power they have here in the U.S. So do you want to put yourself in that situation? I'm not saying all women are like that, but there are many like that. Women cannot handle that. Most women cannot handle that type of power because of their emotional storms in life. And I've seen women throw their husbands, boyfriends in jail, then they're down there the next day trying to get them out because they regret what they did. Yeah, that happens all the time because they get so emotional they don't think logically in the moment. Now, men can do the same thing. Men get sometimes too emotional and they act on their emotions, but the difference is a man has a better chance or can control his emotions even when he's in a highly emotional situation. He can think logically. That's why men make better soldiers than women, because that's about as an emotional situation as you can get into. A combat situation where you're getting fired at and you may die, or your soldiers, your troop may die, or you all may die or get hurt severely. So that is a bad thing about the women having so much power here in the States. They tend to lose their emotional perspective and they act on those emotions. Then later when they calm down and they can think logically, they regret what they have done. But once the law gets involved, it's too late. So these are things you need to think about if you're thinking about getting married because you're all in love and you want to live happily ever after. I'm not saying that can't happen, but 70% of the divorces in the U.S. are initiated by the woman because she has everything to gain and really nothing to lose. Just food for thought. Thanks for joining me. Subscribe, smash that like button, and if you would like to get my help personally, You can contact me at marksinspirationalguidance@gmail.com. Have a great day.